So, imagine waiting 5 years for the next chapter of your absolute favorite sci-fi epic, right? Like you're so hyped, and then you finally boot it up, only to find out you aren't playing the legendary hero anymore.
Yeah, that was a huge shock for a lot of people.
Right. Instead, you're basically an interstellar real estate agent trying to pitch a 10 in a galaxy that actively hates you. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a retrospective review by a gamer known as StoneMonkey, and we're focusing on a title that famously stumbled out of the starting gate. I mean, we're talking about Mass Effect, Andromeda.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is the defining black sheep of modern gaming.
Yeah.
When it launched back in 2017, the conversation was just entirely dominated by internet memes.
The facial animation.
Yeah, the facial animations, the software bugs, it was everywhere. And you have to remember, the franchise had built this massive legacy over 3 previous games. Fans expected a seamless continuation of that momentum. But underneath all that initial noise, if you really look at it, there is an incredibly ambitious narrative experiment going on here.
Which is exactly what we are defrosting today.
Yeah.
We are taking this game out of the gaming freezer. Because, honestly, if you can look past that rocky launch, the developers attempted a really fundamental shift in the franchise's DNA. They moved away from this high-stress apocalyptic war and tried to create a beautifully relaxing story about survival and exploration and, just finding a new home. And even if you've never picked up a controller in your life, the mechanics of how they tried to change the player's emotional state are just fascinating.
They really are. And to understand that emotional shift, you have to look at the basic premise. The original Mass Effect trilogy was defined by a ticking clock.
Yeah, it was stressful.
Exactly. You played as Commander Shepard, a seasoned military legend, and you were constantly racing against an extinction-level threat. And the level design reflected that anxiety. You were funneled through tight, claustrophobic corridors, basically moving from one firefight to the next. But Andromeda throws that entire structure out the airlock.
You literally leave that galaxy behind. The setup is just wild. You play as a character named Ryder who joins the Andromeda Initiative. Along with thousands of other colonists, you are put into cryosleep for a 600-year journey across dark space.
A 600-year nap.
Right, and you are traveling to the Helios cluster in the Andromeda Galaxy to find a fresh start for humanity and, several allied alien species. But then you wake up 6 centuries later, and the golden worlds you were promised are uninhabitable. They're hostile, or they're just covered in deadly radiation.
And your role in solving this massive problem is entirely different from the previous games. Like you said, you aren't a military savior. You are given the title of Pathfinder. Your core objective isn't to defeat an army. It's to find a planet where your people literally won't freeze to death or suffocate.
Okay, let's unpack this, because that is such a massive psychological pivot for the player. Instead of saving the universe, your biggest concern is making sure the life support systems function.
Yeah, it's very grounded.
Yeah. It's like trading a high-stress, 80-hour-a-week corporate job for backpacking across an untamed wilderness. Which makes me wonder, why is a low-stakes sci-fi environment where you're just trying not to fall off a cliff sometimes exactly what a player needs more than saving the universe?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the game trades those tiny corridors for massive, wide-open landscapes. The game gives you permission to be a tourist.
A tourist in a space rover.
Exactly, the nomad. You're driving this incredible 6-wheeled rover across sprawling deserts and massive frozen wastelands. And when you remove that overwhelming doomsday timer, you allow the player to experience a genuine sense of awe.
Right.
You can stop the rover on the edge of a cliff, look up at a sky full of unfamiliar stars, and just breathe. You're scanning minerals, you're discovering ancient alien vaults, and slowly making these worlds livable. And the Pathfinder role brilliantly aligns the protagonist's journey with your own experience as a player, because you are both seeing this frontier for the very first time.
And the reviewer, StoneMonkey, he actively leans into this relaxing vibe. He actually calls himself an easy mode enthusiast.
I love that.
Yeah. He plays the game on narrative mode, or easy mode, because he doesn't want to be punished by the mechanics. He wants to feel like a stress-free, god-tier explorer charting the unknown. And the game's physical mechanics, like how you actually move through this world, support that freedom completely.
Oh, the movement is a stark departure from the past. The original games were traditional cover shooters.
Yeah.
You spent most of your time hiding behind waist-high walls, popping up to shoot and ducking back down. It felt very heavy, very grounded. But Andromeda introduces verticality. You have this jump jet built into your suit.
Which completely changes how you perceive your environment. You aren't just looking for the next rock to hide behind. You can dash across chasms, launch yourself into the air, and literally hover in the sky while you're raining down abilities.
Yes, StoneMonkey noted that going back to the original trilogy's combat feels like trying to run in wet cement compared to how fluid Andromeda is.
Wet cement is such a good way to describe it.
Right, and then you add in the biotics, which, for those unfamiliar, are essentially telekinetic, gravity-bending powers that some characters have. You are suspending enemies in anti-gravity fields, dashing through them, and launching yourself to a new vantage point.
It's so snappy.
Very snappy. When you aren't stressing about surviving every single encounter on a brutal difficulty setting, the combat becomes this fluid, vertical dance. It just enhances that feeling of being an unbound explorer.
But, the exploration of this new galaxy is only half the equation. That shift from an elite military operation to a figuring it out as we go frontier survival story is deeply embedded in the people you are exploring with.
The crew.
Right. Let's look at Ryder, the protagonist. Shepard, the hero of the old games, was a 10-year military veteran, a legend from minute one. I mean, people saluted when Shepard walked into a room. Ryder is basically a relatable kid.
Yeah, Ryder only gets the job of Pathfinder because their father, the original Pathfinder, dies in the opening hours of the game and transfers the artificial intelligence required for the job into Ryder's head.
Talk about pressure.
Right. It is the ultimate unwanted inheritance. It forces a completely different leadership dynamic. You don't command respect through your reputation. You have to earn it through constant trial and error.
And the crew you are leading aboard your ship, the Tempest, reflects that same messy reality. Usually in a role-playing game, you assemble a squad of the most elite, pre-packaged soldiers in the galaxy. Here, you get a team of lovable, complicated outcasts. So I have to ask, is it actually more rewarding to play alongside a disaster crew that grows with you, rather than a squad of prepackaged elite soldiers?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's all about the found family trope. You aren't managing hardened warriors who have everything figured out. You are surviving alongside a group of people who are fundamentally looking for a home, looking to belong. That shared vulnerability makes their personal growth feel so much more earned.
Take Cora, for example. She's human, but she has those gravity-bending biotic powers we mentioned. And because her powers were so strong, she was essentially shipped off to train with an elite unit of Asari, which is this monogendered, highly advanced alien race.
Yeah, she was basically an outsider her whole life.
Exactly. She spent her life feeling like a human trapped in an alien military culture, and now she's in a completely new galaxy. But what is her ultimate goal in the game? She literally just wants to successfully grow a garden of space tomatoes.
Which is so funny, but it's a brilliantly grounded domestic desire. For someone who is technically a super soldier, it humanizes her instantly.
And then you have Liam. Oh, Liam. He is officially designated as the team's crisis specialist, but the joke throughout the game is that he basically creates his own crises.
He really does.
He is disorganized, he acts on impulse, and he constantly messes up delicate diplomatic situations. His loyalty missions are hilarious because he's just a bit of a disaster.
But that disaster dynamic is crucial. It forces the player to build empathy rather than just barking orders. You are cleaning up Liam's messes, which ironically brings you closer to him. And then you have Vetra, a Turian smuggler who gives off intense big sister energy.
She totally has those Garrus vibes from the original trilogy.
Yes, big Garrus vibes. She spends a significant amount of her dialogue discussing the struggles of parenthood and trying to protect her younger sister, Sid. They have these really great chats.
And we absolutely have to talk about Drac, because to give you some context, Drac is a Krogan. The Krogans are massive reptilian aliens bred for extreme environments and war, and they can live for centuries. Drac is over 1,400 years old.
A grumpy space grandpa.
Exactly. A cynical space grandpa covered in scars, carrying a massive shotgun. He has survived everything the universe could throw at him, but the minute someone brings up his granddaughter, Quiche, he completely melts. He is a total softie.
And we can't forget Jaal.
Oh, right, the Angara.
Yeah, Jaal is an alien from the Andromeda Galaxy, part of the Angara race. And he comes from a massive family. He has like 10 plus siblings.
Can you imagine that Thanksgiving dinner?
It would be pure chaos. But again, it emphasizes family and connection. And the game consistently pairs these characters together to create philosophical friction. The review points out the brilliance of putting Drac in a room with PB.
PB is the best. She's a young, Asari, and impulsive rogue academic who pretends not to care about anyone or anything. She acts like everything is a joke, just all heart, but masking it with a fear of commitment.
Precisely. So when you have PB, who is young and reckless, talking to Drac, who has 1,400 years of battle scars and regrets, you get these profound old versus young life lesson dialogues. Because they belong to species that live for centuries, their conversations about legacy and mistakes and what it means to actually build a home carry immense philosophical weight.
It's just so good. But, however, a crew of relatable underdogs needs a compelling obstacle to push against. And this is where Andromeda's relaxing vibe hits some serious turbulence.
Yeah, the villains.
Right, the villains. The main antagonistic force in the Helios cluster is an alien empire called the Ket, led by a figure known as the Archon. Now, StoneMonkey notes that while the Archon has a great visual design, he looks genuinely terrifying. He doesn't actually do much until the very end of the game.
And this raises an important question about narrative balance. The original trilogy featured classic ideologically complex villains like Saren or the Elusive Man. These were characters who engaged Shepard in deep philosophical debates. Saren believed he was saving organic life through submission to a higher power. He made you question your own morality.
He had depth.
Exactly. The Archon, by contrast, operates on pure, unexplained malice. He feels more like a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
Wait, but hold on. If your main villain is basically a Saturday morning cartoon, doesn't that completely undermine all the narrative heavy lifting the crew dynamics are doing?
Well, it fundamentally changes the narrative structure. When a villain lacks complexity, the game's emotional weight defaults entirely back to the crew and the environment. The Archon isn't a complex foil. He's just a flat tire on your road trip. He doesn't challenge your worldview. He just gets in the way of you hanging out with your friends.
That makes sense. But it also highlights the game's most glaring technical flaws. When your story leans entirely on interpersonal drama, the presentation has to be completely immersive.
Which brings us to the lingering graphical issues.
The animations.
Yeah, even playing it years later, the 2017 facial animations have not aged well. You'll be in the middle of a deeply emotional conversation, and Ryder will suddenly look like they've consumed 3 pots of space espresso. Their eyes lock onto yours, forgetting how to blink, and their mouths move like wooden nutcrackers.
It creates an uncanny valley effect that really pulls you out of the moment.
Totally. And the frustrations aren't just limited to the dialogue. Even if you are playing on easy mode to enjoy the story, the game throws these massive combat spikes at you. Specifically, the architect fights. Oh, the architects. These are colossal, flying, robotic worms left behind by an ancient civilization, and they require intense tactical movement.
Yeah, imagine you're playing this. You've just spent 3 hours meticulously driving your rover, setting up a peaceful scientific outpost, soaking in the beautiful alien sunset. Suddenly, this giant metal nightmare drops out of the sky. Your relaxing hike instantly becomes a brutal fight for your life.
It's very jarring.
StoneMonkey admitted he spent way too much time hiding behind a rock, practically crying, waiting for his shields to recharge. He joked that when he calls a boss poorly designed, it usually just means he died 3 times and considered throwing his controller into the sun.
Honestly, fair. But perhaps the biggest frustration discussed is the waitlist problem. The fact that the story just stops.
Right, because there is no Mass Effect, Andromeda 2.
Exactly. Because of the rocky launch of the backlash, the studio put the franchise on ice. In a role-playing game, your big choices, who you romance, Krogan relations, who you pick for leadership roles, they are investments. You expect them to carry over to a sequel?
It is like spending 100 hours building a foundation for a house, framing the walls, and then finding out the construction company went bankrupt. It might never be finished. It is genuinely bittersweet. You connect with this crew, but you never get to see them actually live in the home you built for them.
It is. Yet, even though the future of Andromeda feels like an unfinished house, the game ensures its foundation is deeply rooted in the past. They hit incredible secrets for veteran players exploring these new worlds.
The Easter eggs. And here's where it gets really interesting, because these aren't just cheap fan service nods. It's like finding a letter from a long-lost friend hidden in the floorboards of your brand new house.
That's a great way to put it. Let's talk about Liara Tassoni's audio logs. For context, Liara is an Asari scientist and one of the most beloved companions for the original Milky Way trilogy.
Right, she fought with Shepard.
Yes. And as you explore, you can find her audio logs hidden in your father's, Alec Ryder's, office. Hearing her voice again in Andromeda is haunting. You have to remember, you traveled for 600 years. You are listening to a ghost reaching across time and space.
It's so heavy. And then there's the realization unlocked in Alec Ryder's memory. Deep into the game, you unlock a heavily encrypted memory that reveals the terrifying truth about why they left the Milky Way when they did. The original games focused on the invasion of the Reapers, these machine gods that wipe out all advanced organic life.
And the Andromeda Initiative departed the Milky Way before the Reaper invasion began. The colonists went to sleep thinking it was just a grand scientific expedition. They had no idea a galactic apocalypse was about to start back home.
But then, 6 centuries later, Ryder decrypts this memory and hears the distress calls. They learn that shortly after the colony ships left, the Reapers attacked. The Milky Way burned.
And the emotional mechanics of that revelation are brilliant. The player already knows about the Reapers, but the characters in Andromeda don't. When Ryder finally learns the truth, it bridges that gap.
It's not just Liara and the Reapers either. There are mentions of the Shadow Broker, right?
Oh yeah. And if you explore the planet Eladin, there are references to the Urdnot clan and hints about Grunt thriving out there.
Oh, I loved Grunt. And there's that Kadara side mission featuring Cerberus scientists, too.
Exactly. And even a mission directly referencing the absolute nightmare of Project Overlord from the first game's DLC. These Easter eggs function as emotional anchors. They provide a stark, heavy contrast between the ultimate destruction happening back in the Milky Way and the hopefulness of building something fresh in Andromeda.
It completely recontextualizes your entire motivation. You aren't just an explorer charting a map. You realize that your misfit crew might be the very last embers of your entire civilization. You aren't building a colony, you are building an asylum.
It transforms the mundane acts of scanning plants or purifying water into acts of profound defiance. You are preserving life in a universe that is actively trying to extinguish it.
Wow. So taking all of this into account, the wonky animations, the relaxing open world exploration, the simplistic cartoon villain, the incredibly endearing found family crew, and that heavy connection to a destroyed past, where does that leave the legacy of this game?
I think StoneMonkey's retrospective review offers a very fair assessment. It is absolutely not Shepard's epic military space opera, and it's certainly not flawless.
No, definitely not.
But with the game-breaking bugs largely gone, the snappy combat, the gorgeous environments, and that signature BioWare crew vibe, it is a fantastic sci-fi RPG that deserves a second chance.
I completely agree. So if you threw this game into the freezer years ago, it might be time to pull it back out. Set the game to narrative or easy mode, grab a snack, jump in the Nomad, and just enjoy the ride of finding a new home in the stars. Don't let a flat-tire villain distract you from a genuinely compelling story of survival.
The frontier is waiting.
It really is. And before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to ponder on your own. Put yourself in Ryder's shoes. If you traveled 600 years to a completely new galaxy, knowing everyone and everything you left behind in the Milky Way was long gone, how much of your past would you actively try to preserve? And how much would you let go to finally build something new?
That is a very heavy question for a Pathfinder to answer.
Indeed it is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
Pathfinder. However, the Remnant City is not without defenses, and this is its central command.
Remnant defenses, of course. Use them against the Ket. Sam, now!
Archon wants that one. Destroy the rest.
Sam, everything ready?
All relevant data is queued for uplink.
Right. Let's find a path.
Remnant ships have lifted off. They're following the override vector.
The Scourge is moving, but they're getting through to something.
Meridian, Pathfinder.
A remnant planet? Constructed?
Data's strange. It's saying it's hollow.
A self-contained seed world. It is the heart of the Vault network, and when reactivated, every connected planet will be affected. It is the means to make Helios a home, Pathfinder.
This is the day everyone in the initiative has hoped and worked for. Ever since we left our own stars.
Congratulations, Pathfinder. A great day for us all.
Sam, tell us what's going on.
There you are. You need to stop doing this.
Nice to see you too. News on the Ark?
Still headed to Meridian with a small flotilla. You got the last signal before the Archon locked it down.
We're not letting that stand. Be ready to move.
Wait, we need a plan.
Stop ship, kill Jerk.
With what?
He has Sam, he has ships, but I am still able to do something.
He's got the Hyperion. That's how many thousand hostages?
How many worlds does he destroy if we don't move?
And how many do we save if we get ourselves killed?
Well, we have to do something, right?
I know, but the Tempest is one ship and she isn't even armed.
An impossible thing.
Can you keep that up? Have them fight for us?
Keter tough, but Remnant hit hard.
The promise of that could inspire others to join in, across the cluster.
We have a for real shot at this.
Rally the troops for a last stand.
We're not throwing anyone's lives away, but the Remnant give us a chance worth taking. Right?
Right.
Every one of you has people in Helios you care about. We need them with us. Not to throw at the Archon. I'll make the Remnant do that. We're fighting for the lives we've built. That only matters if there's someone left to live them.
I can't wait to see the Archon's face when he sees you didn't go down as easily as expected. I've got people standing by and Sid's coordinating things on that end. Feeling good about this. The crew's locked and loaded. I just need to know that you're holding up okay.
I made it this far. I had to. But the people beside me gave me the strength to do it. You gave me strength.
And I'm not going anywhere.
It is beautiful, isn't it? This weapon. It created life, and yet only I see its full potential. And I even have the means to achieve it. Using you. I saw you from my flagship in the Pathfinder's memories. You have an implant and a connection. And with that connection, I'll take Meridian. And then Helios will surrender or burn.
He'll get nothing from me. My brother will stop you.
We'll know soon enough, because your Pathfinder is already here. You continue to defy your limitations. Impressive.
You okay?
He's crazy. If we don't submit, he'll use Meridian to kill everyone. That's why he took me and Sam.
You say that as though I should feel guilty. Exaltation is a gift. Those who can't see that deserve to die. You still command, Remnant. But that began with the Sam and the implant. And now I have both. I no longer need you, Pathfinder. But since you insist on interfering, I'll give you my full attention.
That's more than we thought.
We've got this.
They're closing, all sides! We need cover. Hug the remnant.
Rockin' a hard place. Ryder? Ryder!
When your back's against the wall, if you can't run from it, use it.
Stop running. And use it. Callum, how close can you edge the Scourge?
Too close? Why?
I just realized the Remnant are pulling our best chance at winning this. It was something my dad said. Never mind. Just get us in close and trust me.
Never been so glad to see that stuff.
Get the Hyperion. Archon! Don't blame your people. This clusterfuck is all you. I'm not playing your games anymore.
You wish to force my hand? So be it. Unlike you and the Pathfinder, I do not require an implant. I have yours. You've made this much more difficult, Pathfinder, but not for me.
Suvi, what am I looking at?
A wonder.
Sorry, gravity's inverted.
Can't see the Hyperion. Extrapolating from last known position.
It wasn't built for landing. We'll beat it down, like it or not.
Wherever the Archon goes to ground, that's where we're heading.
Hot drop in 5, 4, 3.
Pathfinder is snap dead. That's why we lost.
The Archon's betting we won't chase him with the Ark at risk.
We'll guard the Hyperion.
Kandros, who's with you?
The invitation was open. Unless you're refusing Kadara's help.
We hold the cat. You secure Meridian.
Let's find the Archon.
Pathfinder? He's taken them.
Captain Dunn?
The core is lit up like Christmas, but Sam isn't talking. I think the Archon... Shit, I don't know what he did, but he has Sarah. Whatever Meridian can do, he'll try to take it.
Just focus on flying. I'll find them.
Hard starboard. All power.
Done. What is it? Done.
Keep pushing. Go! That's not the Hyperion.
Kenner deploying to defend the Archon. Get in close.
Kandros, are you out of your mind?
He's right. Mixed with the ground troops, the big ship can't fire on you.
Not sure we have a choice.
Debris incoming.
Watch your heads. Structures ahead, Pathfinder, and major energy signals. I'm no Sam, but that's got to be some kind of control.
Have to fight through on foot.
The Archon will not be allowed to take Meridian. The Archon must be inside already.
He'll use Sarah to make Meridian a weapon. We can't let that happen.
Pathfinder, multiple system failures on the Hyperion.
Damn it. Done. Done. Is there anything we can do?
Stay out of our way.
There's no pulling up. This is the captain. I need everyone to cryo. Go! 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 I'm rerouting power to all medbay inertials. I can give us one shot.
Get me close enough and I'll biotically shield the bridge.
The sleepers take priority. All hands brace. And it's been an honor to serve.
Captain Dunn? Captain Dunn!
Still here, Ryder. Cryopods? Intact. Give the Pathfinders my thanks. And the Archon? The tip of your boot.
It arrives. This attempt to rival me is no longer amusing, Pathfinder.
Hey, Scott. Get my clues?
Pretty clear path, Sarah.
He was distracted. Likes the sound of his own voice.
So determined, but so pointless. Your connection serves me. I know how it works. The mind is trained to think like the Remnant creators. In this case, painfully. But I'm content to let her bear that burden. Whatever gives me Meridian. I will transcend what you pretend to be.
You're out of time. I've matched you every step. You've failed, Archon. You're the pretender.
You learn by accident. I am the genetic inheritor of 1,000 species. No more mercy. Kill them all.
Pathfinder, Meridian is online.
The victory's being broadcast out to everyone. Angara, Milky Way, everyone.
I may have been a focus, but all of Helios came together. This moment belongs to everyone.